Hey guys! Okay, so today is my tell-all about being vegan. This is my 4th year being vegan and I'm really excited about it. I want to share. So in this video, I am going to tell you my story and how I went vegan and how it's going for me. Then I'm going to give you some tips and then I'm going to shout out some of my favorite brands. And as you know, every video that I have up, if I talk about a brand, they're not paying me. It's just me being real, and that's the way I like it for now until I need money. So let's get started. Something that I think needs to be clarified is back in the day, if someone said they were vegan, it would mean they eat vegan, they don't use animal products in any way, they don't have leather shoes, purses, any kind of animal touched item. It would mean that they don't use items that are tested on animals. Like, that is the true meaning from my understanding of being vegan. Now, if you say like, oh yeah, I'm vegan, most people understand that to mean that you eat vegan. So the proper thing for me to say is that I eat vegan. But because it's more acceptable now just to be like, yeah, I'm vegan, until you really sit down with someone and you say, or maybe they even like look at your shoes and see like your Nikes that have leather, so it's a little bit different now. I should have said this at the beginning. I'm not here to diagnose anybody or to talk about the things that I was diagnosed with, because I believe that can perpetuate a cycle of negativity, right? You don't want to live in a place where you're like, oh, I'm diagnosed with all these things and this is what's wrong with me. You want to be in a better place, which is I do all these wonderful, healthy things now and I feel amazing. So that's the world that I live in, right? So I'm not going to sit here and just list off all the things that doctors told me I was diagnosed with, because I will tell you that half of them have disappeared because of the way that I eat now. Shocker. When I first started my, I will call this nutrition journey, I think the first thing that I did was I started juicing. And I thought, this is really cool and I feel really good when I do this. So I'm going to keep doing it. And it was around the time that I had an important job to do and I needed to stay fit and I needed to stay high energy, and that is when I just like shut everything down. I was like, I'm gonna juice every day, and I'm gonna let that be the vehicle that drives me into high energy and high intensity work for this job. And it worked, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Now, in the middle of that, I actually started having stomach issues on and off. A little before the juicing, a little after the juicing, and then when I stopped juicing, I found that my stomach was like really having issues. And I thought, okay, that's weird. This just like came out of nowhere. So I thought it just came out of nowhere. And I started doing research and I started looking at what can I do to fix this? What could be causing it? It felt like there was something that I was doing that was making my stomach like swell. My stomach was swollen constantly, and I couldn't put my finger on what it was. And this is like a while ago, you guys. So it was before things were like more acceptable and more talked about. And I was also just going to like regular doctors, having them check out my stomach, and they're like, you seem fine. One guy even told me, he said, you know what, you should start eating more yogurt. And I tried that for a while. Every night I ate yogurt and I thought, this is the cure. This is it. He fixed me. It did not fix me. He did not fix me. I also was not broken, okay? I just had bad information. And so that's why I want to share it, because you could have bad information or you could just have no idea what I'm talking about, and then it opens a door to you thinking about other things. That's how information works. So after all of that, I started doing even more digging because I didn't believe the doctors and the things that they were telling me weren't really helping. And I started looking at any and every food documentary there was at that time. So in doing that, I started learning about gluten and about wheat and about how America processes their wheat and what it can do to your body and what it would feel like if you were one of those people who has a sensitivity or allergy towards it. And once I figured that out, I immediately was like, okay, somebody needs to test me for these things. I need to know if gluten is the reason. And a lot of the doctors protested and told me that they would not test me for it. So I took it into my own hands and I just stopped eating gluten altogether. Cold turkey, stopped eating it altogether. And I started feeling better. My bloating came down. I lost weight. I was always really active and athletic, so I wasn't ever heavy, but it was like I started shredding. Like you could see more definition in my muscles. And I felt like more of like a clean athlete. It was great. It was really, really great. And I just really took like my health into my hands for the first time as a young adult. And no one really told me what to do. It was just all very instinctive and intuition was at its highest, and I appreciate that so much. I found out that there was a lot of other things outside of gluten that could have been affecting me and could have harmed my GI tract and were affecting other parts of my body and causing a lot more symptoms. So that's when I found out about dairy being bad for me. So at that time, I was already gluten-free, and then I started taking out dairy. Now, this is when things got kind of hard because I was still trying to go to restaurants and still trying to eat out with friends and still trying to do traveling shows and try and make that work in my new food lifestyle, right? But I knew that I felt so much better that I wasn't gonna stop. I was absolutely not gonna stop. So I was feeling better and things were going amazing for that year of being gluten-free and dairy-free. And then I started doing, at that point, health had really just been like a part of my life all the time. So it wasn't unusual for me to be like, oh, there's a new like food documentary, or oh, there's a new restaurant that's healthy foods, or oh, there's a new book. So I jumped on that and found even more information about inflammation and veganism. So what I will tell you is, again, not trying to diagnose anybody, but if you have inflammation, going vegan can be so beneficial. And I am an example of that. And that's where I'm going to leave it. So I decided in 2017 that I was just going to go cold turkey. I was going to go full vegan because I thought I'm feeling better, but I'm not feeling amazing. Here I am feeling better. The best that I've felt since all of this happened to me, right? But I know that there's like another place up here where I can feel amazing and I want to get to that. And how do I do that? So that's when I went cold turkey vegan. I think back to in high school, the first ever food documentary I ever watched was actually Super Size Me. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. And I could never really look at McDonald's the same after that, and it really stuck with me. I'm a Pisces. I'm one of those people that if I see something and it sticks with me, like it really sticks with me. So that kind of started a little something, but that was high school. And then the second one that I will say that I like prominently watched was Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, which I actually watched in a health and wellness class in college. That was the first time I ever really saw people juicing, and I thought, I want to try that. So that's how I tried juicing. It worked out for me, but it didn't really stick in my mind that that was going to be something that I was always going to do. It was just something that I wanted to try for a bit and then see how it went. And then when the results were so good, I was like, okay, I'm going to keep up with this. Here's some more food documentaries. Fed Up is one of the newer ones. That one is really good. The Super Size Me 2 is interesting, and I liked where he was going with that. He got cut off because of some personal things, but anyway, Forks Over Knives, Food Matters, Food Inc. I think Food Inc. is the one that I actually had a little bit of a hard time watching, but still good to watch. Forks Over Knives is a really good one. One of my doctors plays it in the waiting room. Seaspiracy is new, and that just came out in 2021, and that was difficult to watch. It's not so much about food, but it's about the sea, and you know, there's some good information in there. Cowspiracy is the one that was difficult for me to watch. The Game Changers, which is interesting. Literally, these are things that you can find on Amazon Prime, Netflix Video. If you just like have them in the background, just listen. But I mean, if you can give it attention and you really care about your health, if you're going through some symptoms or something like that, it would be good to sit down and watch this, because I guarantee they talk about what symptom you're having and how and what can help it. Also, Hungry for Change is a good one. I've seen so many. Oh, and Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, he did do a 2, so FYI. Some of them are old. You will be surprised that some of them are from 2014, 2008, 2009. Just watching these can give you a little bit more information that you're not going to get in school or from your parents. So my first year being vegan in 2017, I cooked everything. If I ate out, it was like maybe once a month, and all I would get was like French fries and maybe a salad, you know. But it's difficult to go to restaurants and find food that's fully vegan and gluten-free, and you like trust their kitchen, because that's the hardest part about it. Is with the gluten, for me, I have to really trust that they're going to do the right thing. If you are going to go vegan or go gluten-free and continue to eat at restaurants, you have to do your research and check the reviews, because I definitely leave reviews if they've messed up my order and it has something to do with an allergy, because that's really important. I would definitely encourage anyone who wants to go vegan to try and make everything yourself for the first year, to really get like the greatest benefits of being vegan, being like a raw vegan, or just an at-home vegan, which means you're going to the store twice a week, getting the groceries, making a menu, cooking it all yourself. It is hard, and if you're working, it definitely is hard. I was doing a show while I was doing this. It takes a little time too, trying to figure out, you know, what's going to give me energy and what do I need to combine to make the best source of nutrition for that day, depending on what I have to do. But you can learn from just listening to your body, listen to what your body is saying. How does it feel? After that, I did open up and start eating more at restaurants. And now, of course, there's like a vegan restaurant everywhere. I also live in LA now, so it's like totally normal to like drive up on a restaurant and be like, show me your vegan menu, you know? The number one tip that I would give is don't be so hard on yourself. If you go 2 weeks being vegan and then maybe you eat an egg, maybe you eat a product that had milk in it. Do you know how many potato chips on the potato chip aisle have milk in them? It pisses me off. It really does, because I love a chip and dip, okay? But if it has milk in it, I can't have it. I would not even have it. So if you accidentally do something like that, the number one tip I would say is don't be hard on yourself and don't quit. You don't even have to announce it to people. If you made a mistake or if you broke down, you know, don't even start your count over. I mean, unless you go crazy and have like, I don't know, a full rack of ribs or something, then yeah, you better start that count over. But if it's just something simple like an egg or milk and something, be easy on yourself, right? The important thing is that you're working to get your body to its most optimal position. My second year being vegan, I started having a little problem because I wasn't bringing enough variety to my foods, and I was also really stressed out and in a stressed out situation. So I lost weight so so quickly. It was kind of scary, and I thought like something was wrong medically, because I'm like, I'm eating all these wonderful things and I'm only doing what I'm supposed to do, and yes, I was still working out, but I was really, really stressed. So that would be tip number 2. You want to bring a lot more variety into your world, and you kind of have to, because if you take all your vegan options and you make them really small, you're gonna be tired because you're not getting enough food. You're gonna be cranky because you're tired of the same things. You might lose weight really fast, like I did, because you're only eating like the same 10 things. And I get it. Sometimes it's easy to keep it repetitive. And I'm really proud of where I'm at now, which is like, I will go to Whole Foods or Sprouts or Trader Joe's, hit the vegetable wall, and I will get like one of everything. The vegetable wall, let's talk about that. That would be my tip 3. You need to be hitting the vegetable wall. It's important to continue doing your vegan life. If you're doing vegan life for health, for feeling good, it's important to keep things nutritious and direct versus always going to, I don't know, the burger guys downtown LA and always like getting a burger and fries. It's vegan, yeah, and they even have gluten-free, I've been there, but it's still not gonna be as nutritious for your health as going to the vegetable wall in a grocery store and buying like rainbow carrots, red kale, bok choy, and really making that. Forget what happened in childhood. They say kids don't like vegetables, right? So forget all of that. Go to the vegetable wall, try some different things. Leeks, honey, let me tell you about leeks. If you haven't tried a leek, they are good. You have to saute them the right way, but even if you want to throw in like some Beyond Meat and some leeks and potatoes, woo! Okay, Green Chef. They do enough advertising. Okay, I don't need to advertise for them, but during the pandemic, I was living with family and we decided to do Green Chef and had that shipped in once a week. They have a vegan option. They even have vegan and gluten-free options, and it is really nice to have things that are already cut and washed and prepared, and all you have to do is kind of put it together and put a few things in the oven, a few things on the stove, but it took the guesswork, the mind work out of it. At least 3 nights a week, because it comes in a box. You get 3 nights. Farmers markets are really good too. If there's a local farmers market in your area, you get to support a farmer and also get what you need. So I am really, really grateful. I know I said it before, but I want to say it again. I'm really, really grateful that right now is like one of the best times to be vegan. All right, Daya. I love Daya. Most of their stuff, I believe, is vegan and gluten-free. They do pizzas, ice creams, all types of stuff. Amy's Kitchen. Amy has a ton of frozen food items that were really helpful when I was my most busy and working and needed like lunch. Kit Hill. Their stuff is vegan, and she does all of the like cream cheese and cheeses and yogurts and things. I do like those. Trader Joe's brand vegan things are good. My personal thing with Trader Joe's is that any of their products that are Trader Joe's brand that are vegan and gluten-free are not certified gluten-free. So if you have an allergy, if you're celiac, if you are someone really sensitive to it, I wouldn't suggest it. Beyond Meat, I do like Beyond Meat over Impossible Meat. There are the ones like Light Life, Garden, and Tofurkey. Those I personally haven't tried all of their things because I have other sensitivities, but they are well-known vegan brands. So these are the type of like boxed products that if you do want to go the box route, if you do want to go the restaurant route, you can show up to a pizzeria. Most often, if you do that, they're going to have a gluten-free crust that's available, and then they will have vegan cheese that's available. Most often, that's Daiya cheese. So just to know, you can always ask when you're at a restaurant, what brand is XYZ, whatever you're asking about, right? Like if they have sausage, because 9 times out of 10, the restaurant hasn't made their vegan items themselves. 9 times out of 10, they have shipped it in, gotten it from another manufacturer. And those are the restaurants that are not vegan only restaurants. That's like if you go to O'Charlie's or if you go to Mellow Mushroom, they're gonna have an assortment of kind of store-bought items to kind of make their vegan menu, which is fine, but you want to know, so you want to ask. Now, if you go to a real pop-in vegan restaurant, which I love, if you go to one of those, like, don't ask. They made it. They made it with their heart. They love you. They want you to love it, okay? Being a vegan is fun. Did I mention that? It does get fun. I know it's hard at the beginning, but it does get fun. And so one of the things that I do to celebrate my vegan anniversary is every year so far, outside of the pandemic, I have gone to Vegandale, which is a vegan festival that's held in LA, New York, Toronto, and Chicago, I think. I've been in New York and in LA, and it's so much fun. And I meet, you know, a ton of vendors and different restaurants. Different restaurants come from all over to come to the festival. It's not just places that you're used to. Go to festivals, to go to like vegan nights. Some restaurants have vegan nights so that you can introduce yourself to other menu items and other brands. When I did first go gluten-free and vegan, I remember crying because I was like, I'm never gonna go on a date again. Like, how am I gonna go on a date? And that's when I actually really fell into the French fry trap, which is, you know, every bar, every restaurant, just about everywhere has French fries. So I'd be like, yeah, I'll go on a date, and then I'll just get like a drink and French fries, which is like cute for a little while, but it definitely is not my thing now. I mean, I still love French fries, don't get me wrong. I'm eating the French fries like every day. But when I go on a date now, you know, I am gonna suggest, especially because I'm fully vegan now, I am gonna suggest, well, let's go try out this restaurant that I really wanted to try, and it may be a vegan restaurant. And if he doesn't have, you know, happy feelings towards that, if it's not something that he wants to do, well, that's like an easy spot for me to know that we may not be a good fit. You know, he doesn't have to be vegan, but you want to be open. If I tried this when I was younger and was like living with my parents, that would have been difficult. Luckily now, like, my mom is super supportive. She will help me cook like vegan Thanksgiving now. And if I can make something that's like really yummy and vegan and I get people to try it, like I'll bake a pie or something like that. It's vegan and gluten-free, and my dad will try it, you know? So it's nice to have support, but the easiest way to do it is if you're not surrounded by people who are gonna tempt you or who are gonna like force certain foods on you. Now, there is also, by now, because it is 2021, there's a dating app for everything, and there are a couple vegan dating apps out. Now, I tried the more popular one, and they're doing a lot of things wrong, but there are genuine people on there who are dead set on meeting a vegan, dating a vegan, marrying a vegan. I don't feel so dead set. I get what they're doing on the apps, and there are some nice people on there. I did try and talk to a couple of guys, but the app itself, I think it's called Vegly. The app itself is trash. They want you to pay to match with people. It's not like Hinge, where you can go your entire Hinge career on like a basic account without subscribing to the higher account. You basically have to subscribe to the higher account just to get some matches in. So I didn't get to see the full spectrum of guys that were on there, which was kind of weird. But maybe they fixed that by now because I haven't been on it lately. And I will do another video on vegan beauty products because that's my world too. It's a whole deal, inside the body, outside the body. It's all a deal, right? And if you're into it, once you start, you kind of just, it snowballs. It just keeps going. So I invite you to comment some of your favorite vegan products below, or if it's helpful, please let me know. If you want more details, let me know. And this video will be the start of a health and wellness playlist that I make on my page. Don't worry, there's still gonna be fashion and lifestyle and dance and everything else that I feel like doing, really. That's what my page is for, whatever I feel like, sprinkled with positivity. But this will be the start of my health and wellness little area. So I will be doing reviews of particular vegan brands or vegan options or restaurants, and you know, follow, subscribe if that's your jam. Or if you just need encouragement on your vegan journey, I would be happy to give that to you. You can just let me know. Thanks.